The morning sun poured gently through the blinds of Lily Harper's room, painting her walls in soft streaks of gold. At 17, Lily had always believed life was predictable, like the gentle rhythm of Willow Creek, the small town where she'd grown up, where everyone knew everyone else's business, and where secrets rarely stayed hidden for long. She swung her backpack over her shoulder and stepped outside, inhaling the crisp morning air. Mrs. Lawson, her elderly neighbor, waved from her garden. "Good morning, dear. You're glowing today." Lily smiled. "Thanks, Mrs. Lawson." Almost immediately, her best friend Mia came running down the sidewalk, hair flying and sneakers squeaking against the pavement. "Lily, wait," she gasped, clutching her chest. "What's wrong? Did someone steal your homework?" Lily teased, but her voice lacked its usual brightness. Mia grabbed her arm, eyes wide with urgency. "It's Jake. I saw him last night." Lily froze. Jake, her boyfriend of over a year. The boy she thought she could trust with her heart. "What about him?" Lily asked, her voice cautious. Mia swallowed hard. He kissed me. Right in front of his little sister. And he didn't even look guilty." Lily felt the world tilt. Her stomach tightened, and her hands went clammy. "You're joking," she whispered. "I'm not," Mia insisted. "I didn't want to tell you, but you need to know." For the rest of the morning, Lily could hardly focus. Every glance from Jake seemed suspicious. Every whisper felt like it was about her. In class, her teacher's words melted into a blur. She felt like she was walking through life underwater, everything muffled, distorted, and heavy. "Are you okay?" Sarah, her close friend, asked quietly as they sat together at lunch. "I'm fine, just tired," Lily murmured, poking at her sandwich. But she wasn't fine. Her trust had been shattered, and she didn't know how to repair it. By the time school ended, Lily had resolved to confront Jake. She didn't know what she hoped to achieve, answers, closure, maybe even an apology, but she couldn't keep pretending that everything was normal. The walk to his house felt endless. Every step made her heart pound faster. She rehearsed what she might say, over and over, but her mind refused to settle on the right words. When she arrived, Jake opened the door. His eyes widened when he saw her. "Lily, Stop," she interrupted, her voice shaking. "I need the truth, Jake. What's going on?" He swallowed hard, looking anywhere but her face. It's not what it looks like." "Then what is it?" Her patience snapped. "I need you to be honest." Jake hesitated, then said the words that would change everything. I'm going to be a dad." Lily blinked, trying to process. "A dad?" "Yes, someone I've been seeing. She's pregnant," he admitted, guilt heavy in his voice. Lily stumbled back, tears threatening to spill. Why didn't you tell me?" "I didn't know how. I was scared," Jake muttered. She ran out of the house before she could say anything more, the tears finally falling freely. She felt like her entire world had crumbled. For the first time in her life, she didn't know what the future held. That night, Lily sat on her bed, staring at the ceiling. The betrayal had left a raw ache in her chest, but amidst the hurt, a small spark of defiance flickered. Maybe heartbreak could teach her something about herself. Maybe she could survive this, and come out stronger. The next morning, Willow Creek felt colder, even though the sun was shining. Lily trudged to school, her backpack heavy, not from books, but from the weight in her chest. She passed familiar streets and neighbors waving hands, but everything felt distant, as if she were watching life from behind a glass wall. Mia met her at the usual corner. "Hey, you okay?" she asked cautiously. Lily shook her head. "No, I'm not. I know, I feel awful," Mia whispered. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." Stop," Lily interrupted, her voice tight. Just leave me alone right now." She walked past Mia, trying to focus on anything but the betrayal that clawed at her heart. The hallways of Willow Creek High buzzed with students, laughter, and chatter. Lily felt like she was walking through a storm in slow motion. Every whisper made her flinch. She caught a glimpse of Jake across the hall, laughing with his friends. Her stomach twisted. How could he act like nothing had happened? How could he smile so easily while she felt broken? At lunch, Lily sat alone. Sarah approached, sitting across from her. "You don't have to do this alone, Lily," she said softly. I just need space," Lily replied, poking at her food. Her appetite had vanished. I can't talk about it without crying." Sarah reached out, placing a hand on hers. "It's okay. Cry. Be angry. Feel whatever you need to feel. But don't shut everyone out." You'll only feel worse. Lily nodded, though her mind remained a chaotic whirl of emotions. She couldn't imagine how things could ever feel normal again. After school, she wandered to the small park near her house, sitting on a swing and staring at the empty playground. The breeze rustled through the trees, but it did nothing to calm her racing thoughts. She remembered the plans she and Jake had made, college applications, weekend trips, even prom night. Now all of it felt like someone else's life, a story she was no longer a part of. Her phone buzzed. A message from Jake. "Can we talk? Please." Lily stared at the screen, her fingers trembling. She wanted to throw it away, to never hear from him again, but a part of her, deep down, still loved him. She ignored it. That night, Lily sat on her bed, staring at the ceiling, and replayed every memory she had with Jake. Every laugh, every promise, every quiet moment of shared dreams, now poisoned by his betrayal. She felt lost, like the ground had been pulled out from under her feet. But then something unexpected happened. She remembered her grandmother's stories, about love, heartbreak, and resilience. Her grandmother had endured scandals, betrayal, and yet she had survived, thrived, and found happiness again. Maybe, Lily thought, she could do the same. The next day, Lily returned to school with a new sense of determination. She wouldn't let Jake's betrayal define her. She started focusing on her photography, a hobby she'd abandoned over the years. With each photo she took, she felt a small spark of life returning, capturing moments, emotions, and stories through her lens. But life wasn't done testing her. Word had spread. Rumors began circulating faster than wildfire. People whispered in hallways, some looked at her with pity, others with judgment. Lily could feel the eyes on her everywhere she went. One afternoon, as she walked to class, a girl she didn't know approached her. "Hey, you're Lily, right?" I'm Jake's girlfriend. I'm pregnant." Lily froze, her heart hammering. The girl's eyes were full of fear, vulnerability, and something else, hope. I wanted you to know," the girl said softly. "I'm scared, and I don't know what to do. I don't want to fight or hurt anyone." Lily blinked, unsure of how to respond. Anger flared, but it was tangled with something unexpected, sympathy. She saw herself in this girl, frightened by a life she hadn't planned for, trapped in circumstances beyond her control. "Okay," Lily said finally, her voice trembling. "Thank you for telling me. I hope everything will be okay." The girl nodded, relief washing over her face. "I hope so too." That evening, Lily sat by her bedroom window, watching the sky turn shades of pink and orange. She realized that heartbreak didn't have to destroy her. Maybe it could teach her strength. Maybe she could survive this, not just survive it, but grow from it. The storm inside her heart hadn't passed, but for the first time in weeks, she felt a flicker of hope, a small, stubborn spark that whispered, "You will be okay. You will rise again." The following days felt heavier than the last. Willow Creek High had never been so small, so suffocating. Every hallway seemed to whisper her name, every glance carried judgment or curiosity. Lily tried to focus on her photography, on the moments she could capture through the lens, but even that felt tainted by the chaos surrounding her life. "Lily, hey." Mia's voice startled her one morning in the courtyard. She turned, bracing herself for the confrontation she expected. I just want to be left alone," Lily said sharply. She hadn't meant to sound harsh, but the walls she'd built were fragile and crumbling. Mia's eyes filled with hurt. "I know, I messed up. I'm sorry. I didn't know he'd. Don't," Lily snapped, cutting her off. Just stay out of it, okay?" Mia nodded, voice trembling. "Okay, but I'm here if you need me." Lily walked away, focusing on the rhythm of her footsteps, the cool breeze brushing her face. But she couldn't shake the feeling that her life was spiraling, that every step she took only pulled her deeper into confusion and heartbreak. That afternoon, she found herself in the library, surrounded by books and the comforting silence of people buried in their own worlds. She needed an escape from gossip, from whispers, from judgment. She pulled out an old notebook and began jotting down her thoughts, her anger, her fear, her pain. Each word felt like a small exhale of what had been trapped inside her. But the storm wasn't done. Jake appeared at the library door, hesitating before stepping inside. "Lily, can we talk?" His voice was softer than she expected, almost vulnerable. "I don't know," she said, keeping her eyes on her notebook. "I don't know if I can listen." I need to explain," he said, taking a tentative step closer. I made a mistake. A huge mistake. But I never meant to hurt you. You have to believe me. Lily finally looked up, her eyes brimming with tears. You already hurt me, Jake. You broke everything. How can I ever believe you again? He sank into the chair across from her, silence stretching between them. I don't know, he admitted. I wanted to tell you the truth. I should have from the start. The words did nothing to heal the ache inside her chest. They were just words. She wanted actions, sincerity, something tangible that proved he cared more than he cared about his own fears. That evening, Lily returned home, feeling more lost than ever. She wandered into the attic, searching for something, anything, that could offer clarity. Among the dusty boxes, she discovered her grandmother's old journal. Its pages were filled with stories of heartbreak, betrayal, and resilience. Reading her grandmother's words, Lily realized that pain was not the end. Heartbreak could be endured. Mistakes could be forgiven, not necessarily for the other person, but to free oneself from the chains of anger and bitterness. For the first time in weeks, Lily allowed herself a small measure of hope. Maybe she could navigate this. Maybe she could survive this betrayal and come out stronger. The following week at school, the whispers continued, but Lily walked through them with a little more courage. She started photographing candid moments, students laughing, the sunlight through the library windows, the quiet corners of her life that no one else noticed. Each click of her camera was a reminder that she still had control over her story, even if others tried to rewrite it for her. Then came another unexpected encounter. The girl Jake was expecting a child with approached her in the hallway. Hi, Lily? The girl asked nervously. I just wanted to say I don't want to cause more problems. I'm scared, and I don't know how to handle this, but I don't want to hurt you either. Lily paused, studying her. There was fear there, yes, but also sincerity. Lily took a deep breath. Okay, she said slowly. Thank you for telling me. I hope we can find some peace, somehow. The girl nodded, relief softening her features. Me too. That night, Lily sat by her window, staring at the fading light. The pain hadn't vanished, but it had transformed. It was no longer just anger or betrayal. It was a spark, a call to survive, to grow, to reclaim her life. She didn't know what the future held, but for the first time, she believed that she could face it. The days grew longer, and the whispers in Willow Creek High seemed louder. Lily felt their weight with every step she took. Each glance, each giggle from classmates, seemed like a reminder of her heartbreak. But something had shifted inside her. She no longer wanted to hide, to curl into herself and wait for life to pass. At home, she cleared off a small corner of her room for her camera and tripod. She started taking photos of everything, sunlight through her bedroom window, the way shadows fell across her desk, even the old family photos her mother had given her. Every click of the shutter felt like a small victory, a reclaiming of control in a life that had been hijacked by betrayal. Mia, noticing the change, approached cautiously one afternoon. Lily, can we talk? Lily looked up from her camera, adjusting the lens. I don't know, Mia. I'm still angry. I know, Mia said softly. And I don't expect you to forgive me. I want to be here for you, if you let me. Lily hesitated, then nodded slightly. Okay, but no more secrets, Mia. If we're doing this, it's honesty or nothing. Mia smiled faintly. Deal. School became a little easier. Lily started participating in class again, though her friends noticed the walls she still held up. Photography became her refuge, her way to process emotions she couldn't yet put into words. But life, as always, had its surprises. One morning, Lily received a message from Jake. Can we meet? I need to explain. Please. Her heart pounded. She stared at the screen for a long moment, fighting an urge to delete it. Finally, she typed back, fine. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. The park. When they met, Jake looked different, not the confident boy she had loved, but a man weighed down by guilt and fear. Lily, he began, voice shaky, I know I hurt you. More than I can ever explain. But I want you to know I never wanted this. I never wanted to lose you. You lost me the moment you decided to lie, Lily said, her voice trembling. You chose fear over honesty. You chose betrayal over love. He swallowed, eyes glistening. I know, and I can't undo it. I need you to know I'm sorry. Truly. The park was quiet, the early evening sun casting long shadows. Lily looked at him, searching for the boy she had loved. All she found was regret, and a lesson she had learned the hard way. I can't be part of this, she said finally. I need to focus on myself. On who I am, not who I thought I wanted to be. Jake nodded, tears spilling down his cheeks. I understand. I really do. I hope someday you can forgive me, but I know that's not for me to decide. Lily walked away, each step lighter than the last. The storm inside her chest was far from over, but for the first time, she felt the wind at her back, pushing her towards something new. At home, she opened her grandmother's journal again. The pages were filled with stories of women who had been broken and rebuilt, whose hearts had been shattered and then remade stronger than before. Lily smiled faintly. If they could survive, maybe she could too. That evening, she sent a message to the pregnant girl. I want to meet. Maybe we can talk. Understand each other better. The reply came quickly. I'd like that. Thank you. For the first time in weeks, Lily felt a flicker of hope. Not just survival, but possibility. Life was messy, unpredictable, and painful, but maybe, just maybe, it could also be beautiful. The following weeks were a whirlwind. Lily threw herself into schoolwork and photography, spending hours capturing moments others overlooked. The way sunlight danced across the library floor, the quiet determination in her classmates' eyes, the subtle beauty in everyday chaos. Every photo was a small act of reclaiming her life, a way to tell her own story without words. Mia, cautiously optimistic, had become her ally again. You've changed, Mia said one afternoon as they walked home. I can see it in you. You're stronger, but also scared. Lily shrugged. Maybe. I can't let anyone else control how I feel anymore. The reality of Jake's betrayal still haunted her, though. She saw him occasionally on the streets of Willow Creek, sometimes with his girlfriend, sometimes alone, and each sighting reminded her of the life she had imagined and lost. But instead of despair, she tried to focus on her own path. One Friday evening, Lily received a message from the pregnant girl. Can we meet at the cafe tomorrow? Nervous and unsure, Lily agreed. She didn't know what to expect. When she arrived, the girl was already there, fidgeting with a coffee cup. Hi, Lily said softly. Hi, the girl replied, voice barely above a whisper. Thank you for meeting me. They sat in silence for a moment, both struggling to find the right words. Finally, Lily spoke. I just want you to know I'm not angry. Not anymore. I've had time to think. The girl looked up, eyes wide. Really? Yes, Lily said. Life is too short to hold on to anger. We don't have to be friends, but maybe we can understand each other. Support each other, even a little. The girl smiled, relief washing over her. I'd like that. I really would. The meeting was awkward, tentative, but something shifted in Lily. For the first time, she realized that compassion could be a form of strength. It didn't make her weak, it made her human. That weekend, Lily took her camera to the park, capturing candid shots of families, children running through sprinklers, couples laughing on benches. She realized that life went on, with all its imperfections, and beauty could be found even in pain. But just as she felt a fragile sense of peace, life threw her another curveball. Her father received a call from a distant relative, someone from the other side of the family who had known secrets Lily's grandmother had kept hidden. They were coming to Willow Creek, insisting on meeting with her parents to discuss family matters. Lily felt a familiar dread. What new revelations were waiting for her? What other truths had been hidden behind carefully closed doors? The night before the relatives arrived, Lily sat on her bed, flipping through her grandmother's journal. Among the pages of heartbreak and resilience, she found a letter addressed to her mother. Its contents were shocking. Stories of hidden children, betrayals, and promises that had been broken decades ago. Lily realized that her own story of betrayal was not unique. Her family had carried secrets for generations, and now it was her turn to confront them. The next morning, the relatives arrived. Their presence was tense, their eyes heavy with unspoken judgments. Conversations were polite but strained. Lily watched, silent, as the adults whispered and exchanged glances. She realized that while she had been focused on her own pain, her family's past had quietly shaped her world, influencing the way trust and love were handled. By the end of the day, Lily understood something vital. She couldn't change the past, but she could decide how to respond to it. The legacy of betrayal and secrecy didn't have to define her. She could choose honesty, compassion, and resilience. That evening, she met with Mia at the park. I feel different, Lily admitted. Scared, but more aware. Stronger, maybe. Mia smiled. You are. And no one can take that away from you. As the sun set over Willow Creek, Lily realized that her journey was far from over. Life was unpredictable, painful, and beautiful all at once. And for the first time in months, she felt ready to face it, head on, heart open, and camera in hand. The days that followed were a mixture of discovery, reflection, and tentative growth. Lily woke up each morning determined to reclaim her life, one small step at a time. She spent hours with her camera, capturing images of the world she had once taken for granted. The way sunlight caught the dew on the grass, the way children ran through puddles after a sudden rain, the quiet determination in a friend's eyes. Each photograph reminded her that life, even when messy and painful, was full of beauty. Her relationship with Mia had improved. They shared moments of laughter again, and Lily allowed herself to lean on her friend more than she had in months. One afternoon, as they walked home from school, Mia nudged her gently. You know, Mia said, you're really inspiring. You've gone through so much, and yet, you're still standing. Stronger than anyone I know. Lily smiled faintly, though a shadow lingered in her eyes. I don't feel strong yet, she admitted. Some days I feel like I'm just surviving. But maybe, surviving is the first step. Meanwhile, Jake remained a complicated presence in her life. Though she had made it clear she didn't want a relationship with him, his occasional texts and attempts at conversation tested her resolve. One evening, he showed up unexpectedly at her house. Lily, I just need to talk, he said, his voice strained. I don't know if I can, she replied, arms crossed. Every time I see you, it pulls me back into anger and pain I've been trying to leave behind. I understand, he said softly. I need you to know that I regret everything. Every choice, every lie. I never meant to hurt you this badly. Her hands trembled as she considered his words. Forgiveness was still a distant thought, a fragile idea she wasn't ready to embrace. I hear you, Jake, she said finally. But words aren't enough. You've made your choices. Now I need to make mine. And so, she walked away, feeling a mix of relief and sorrow. The past could not be changed, but she could control how it shaped her future. One morning, Lily received an invitation from her school's art club to exhibit her photography. The opportunity was both exciting and terrifying. She had never shared her work publicly, and the thought of putting her emotions on display made her stomach twist. But something inside urged her to accept. At the exhibition, she watched visitors examine her photographs, lingering on moments she had captured in quiet solitude. Each compliment, each thoughtful gaze, bolstered her confidence. For the first time in months, Lily felt proud of herself, not for surviving heartbreak alone, but for creating something meaningful from it. Yet, even as her world began to expand, challenges arose from unexpected corners. The pregnant girl, whom she had met and slowly begun to understand, faced her own struggles with judgment and fear. Lily found herself stepping into a role she hadn't anticipated: supporter, confidant, and sometimes mediator. It was exhausting, but it also gave her a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in weeks. Late one evening, Lily sat by her window, looking out at the stars scattered across the sky. The world was immense, unpredictable, and daunting, but it was also hers to navigate. She realized that strength wasn't about never feeling pain. It was about moving forward despite it, about facing life's storms and discovering that she could endure more than she ever imagined. By the time she went to bed, Lily felt a sense of quiet determination. She didn't know what the future held: Jake, her family, the challenges of growing up. But she knew one thing. She was no longer a passive observer of her life. She was taking control, one deliberate, courageous step at a time. The weekend arrived with a strange stillness in Willow Creek, but for Lily, peace remained elusive. Her grandmother's journal had revealed so much about hidden family secrets, and now, as distant relatives visited, the weight of generations of secrecy pressed heavily on her. The house buzzed with whispered conversations between adults, eyes flicking toward her as though she were an unspoken subject of discussion. Lily tried to focus on her photography, capturing the subtle light of the living room or the pattern of shadows cast by the curtains. But every click of the shutter reminded her of the family she didn't fully understand, and the past that seemed determined to shape her present. During a quiet moment in the kitchen, her father finally spoke. Lily, you're strong, more than you realize. But some things about our family, they're complicated. They're not your fault, and you need to understand that before you can move forward." Lily's heart tightened. "I don't know if I can. I feel like I'm drowning in all of it. The lies, the secrets, the betrayals. I'm just trying to breathe." Her father reached across the table, placing a hand on hers. "Then breathe. One step at a time. You can survive this. You've already survived more than most." Later that afternoon, Lily decided to meet the pregnant girl again. They sat on a park bench, the autumn wind carrying leaves around them. I don't know how I'm going to do this," the girl admitted, rubbing her stomach nervously. "People judge me every day. And, Jake," Lily took a deep breath. "I know, but you're not alone. You have a choice about how you face this, and who you let into your world. You're stronger than you think." The girl looked at her, eyes glistening. "Do you really mean that?" "Yes," Lily said firmly. "I've learned that compassion isn't weakness. It's power. And you have it, too." Meanwhile, Jake's presence lingered like a shadow over Willow Creek. Though he tried to apologize and explain himself, Lily had grown wary. She had seen firsthand that words meant little without action, and she refused to let him control her emotions again. One evening, she received a message from him. "I'm scared. I don't know how to handle this. I want to be better." Lily stared at the screen, fingers hovering over the keyboard. She could type something, anything, but instead, she placed her phone down. Actions mattered more than words, and she had learned that lesson well. That night, alone in her room, Lily reviewed the photos she had taken over the past weeks. Each one told a story: pain, resilience, hope, and transformation. She realized that while she couldn't control the past, she could shape how her life moved forward. Her thoughts turned to the future. College applications loomed, friendships needed nurturing, and her own dreams of becoming a professional photographer felt more attainable than ever. But she knew the journey wouldn't be smooth. Life had already shown her how quickly stability could crumble. Still, she smiled faintly, a glimmer of determination shining in her eyes. The world might be unpredictable, chaotic, and painful, but she had survived heartbreak, discovered her inner strength, and begun to carve a path that was truly her own. By the time she went to bed, the house quiet around her, Lily realized something important. Resilience wasn't just about enduring pain. It was about choosing to move forward despite it, about finding light even in the darkest moments. And for the first time, she believed that no matter what challenges awaited, she could face them and thrive. Autumn had deepened in Willow Creek, and the town seemed to hold its breath. For Lily, every day carried the weight of decisions and consequences, each moment a test of her resilience. Her photography had blossomed into more than a hobby. It was a lifeline, a way to process emotions she couldn't voice, a way to reclaim her narrative. But the calm she had built began to crack. One Friday afternoon, her mother called her into the living room. "Lily, we need to talk," she said, her voice tight with worry. "What is it?" Lily asked, unease rising in her chest. Her mother sat down, placing a trembling hand over Lily's. "The relatives, they brought something to light. Something from our family's past. Secrets, and complications. It's important you know the truth." Lily felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She had braced herself for this, yet the words felt heavier than she imagined. "What kind of secrets?" Her mother sighed. "Decades ago, there were children, hidden relationships. Choices that were made out of fear, shame, and love all at once. They've come back into our lives, and we need to face them. It's complicated." Complicated was an understatement. Lily struggled to absorb the revelation. Her own story of betrayal now felt like a fragment of a much larger, tangled history. She realized that her pain was part of a legacy she could neither ignore nor escape. Later that day, Lily met the pregnant girl at their usual park bench. The girl looked pale, anxiety etched into her features. I don't know what to do," she admitted. "Everyone is judging me. Jake, he's not helping. And I feel so alone." Lily placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "You're not alone. I've learned that compassion is power, not weakness. We can figure this out together. Even if it's messy." Meanwhile, the tension with Jake escalated. He appeared unexpectedly at school, attempting to talk to Lily in the crowded hallways. Students whispered, some laughed, others stared. "Lily, please. I need to explain," Jake pleaded, desperation in his voice. "You've explained," Lily said, her voice firm but calm. "I've heard your words. But words aren't enough. I need actions, not excuses." His face fell, but Lily didn't waver. She had learned to protect herself, to prioritize her own growth over past attachments. That evening, she received an urgent message from her father. The relatives from the past demanded a meeting, and this time, it included her. Fear and curiosity mingled in her chest as she prepared to face not just the secrets of the past, but their impact on her own life. The meeting was tense. Voices rose, accusations lingered, and for a moment, Lily felt powerless. But then she realized something profound. She had a choice. She could either let the weight of the past crush her, or she could confront it with clarity and strength. "I won't be afraid," Lily said, her voice steady. "I can't change the past, but I can decide my future. And I choose to face it with honesty and courage." Her words seemed to silence the room. Even the relatives, steeped in their own grudges and fears, paused to absorb the conviction in her voice. That night, Lily sat alone in her room, looking at the photos she had taken. Each one told a story: pain, heartbreak, hope, and resilience. She realized that her life was her story, no one else's. For the first time, she felt ready, not just to survive, but to thrive. The past had shaped her, yes, but it no longer defined her. She had the power to write her own ending, to create her own happiness, and to step boldly into the future she deserved. The storm of betrayal, secrets, and fear had reached its peak. Now, Lily's journey toward healing and empowerment was about to continue, stronger, wiser, and unbreakable. The first snow of the season dusted Willow Creek in sparkling white, softening the edges of the town and giving it a peaceful glow. For Lily, the beauty of the season was a sharp contrast to the turbulence she had endured in recent months. Yet, she felt herself stepping into a new rhythm, one shaped by resilience, understanding, and cautious hope. At school, she walked the hallways with her head held higher. Whispers and sidelong glances still followed her, but they no longer pierced her like daggers. She had learned to prioritize her own sense of self over the opinions of others. Mia met her by their lockers. "You're different," she said, smiling. "Confident, calm. You've grown so much." Lily smiled, a warmth spreading through her chest. "I've had to. There's no other choice." Photography had become more than a refuge, it was a bridge to connection. Lily began sharing her work in the school newsletter and the local cafe, and the responses were unexpectedly positive. People admired her ability to capture emotion, subtlety, and beauty in ordinary moments. Each compliment reinforced her confidence, each acknowledgement validated her struggle. One afternoon, she met the pregnant girl again. The girl looked calmer, her hands resting protectively over her stomach. I don't know how to thank you," she said. "For being there. For understanding." "You don't need to thank me," Lily said gently. "We're both learning to navigate life's chaos. We just have to support each other." For the first time, Lily felt a sense of genuine connection, an understanding that extended beyond anger, beyond betrayal, into empathy and shared experience. Jake remained a presence, but Lily had established firm boundaries. When he sent messages, she responded only when necessary and with measured words. She refused to allow the past to dominate her emotions, and in doing so, she reclaimed her power. At home, the family gathered around the fireplace one evening. Conversations flowed more easily than before, as the secrets and misunderstandings of the past began to settle. Lily's parents had acknowledged the long-hidden stories, and Lily felt a new sense of clarity and freedom. "You've grown so much," her mother said softly. "We're proud of you." Lily felt a lump in her throat, overwhelmed by both gratitude and relief. "I've learned that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about standing up every time you do." The snow fell silently outside, blanketing the town in tranquility. Lily walked to her room, taking one last look at the photos she had taken over the past months. Each one told a story, not just of heartbreak, but of survival, courage, and renewal. As she closed her journal and turned off the lights, Lily felt a quiet peace settle over her. The storm had passed, but the lessons remained. She had faced betrayal, family secrets, and fear, and she had emerged stronger, wiser, and ready for the future. Tomorrow awaited with new challenges, new possibilities, and new moments to capture. And for the first time, Lily felt truly ready to embrace them all. The first snow of the season dusted Willow Creek in sparkling white, softening the edges of the town and giving it a peaceful glow. For Lily, the beauty of the season was a sharp contrast to the turbulence she had endured in recent months. Yet, she felt herself stepping into a new rhythm, one shaped by resilience, understanding, and cautious hope. At school, she walked the hallways with her head held higher. Whispers and sidelong glances still followed her, but they no longer pierced her like daggers. She had learned to prioritize her own sense of self over the opinions of others. Mia met her by their lockers. "You're different," she said, smiling. "Confident. Calm. You've grown so much." Lily smiled, a warmth spreading through her chest. "I've had to. There's no other choice." Photography had become more than a refuge, it was a bridge to connection. Lily began sharing her work in the school newsletter and the local cafe, and the responses were unexpectedly positive. People admired her ability to capture emotion, subtlety, and beauty in ordinary moments. Each compliment reinforced her confidence, each acknowledgement validated her struggle. One afternoon, she met the pregnant girl again. The girl looked calmer, her hands resting protectively over her stomach. I don't know how to thank you," she said. "For being there. For understanding." "You don't need to thank me," Lily said gently. "We're both learning to navigate life's chaos. We just have to support each other." For the first time, Lily felt a sense of genuine connection, an understanding that extended beyond anger, beyond betrayal, into empathy and shared experience. Jake remained a presence, but Lily had established firm boundaries. When he sent messages, she responded only when necessary and with measured words. She refused to allow the past to dominate her emotions, and in doing so, she reclaimed her power. At home, the family gathered around the fireplace one evening. Conversations flowed more easily than before, as the secrets and misunderstandings of the past began to settle. Lily's parents had acknowledged the long-hidden stories, and Lily felt a new sense of clarity and freedom. "You've grown so much," her mother said softly. "We're proud of you." Lily felt a lump in her throat, overwhelmed by both gratitude and relief. "I've learned that strength isn't about never breaking. It's about standing up every time you do." The snow fell silently outside, blanketing the town in tranquility. Lily walked to her room, taking one last look at the photos she had taken over the past months. Each one told a story, not just of heartbreak, but of survival, courage, and renewal. As she closed her journal and turned off the lights, Lily felt a quiet peace settle over her. The storm had passed, but the lessons remained. She had faced betrayal, family secrets, and fear, and she had emerged stronger, wiser, and ready for the future. Tomorrow awaited with new challenges, new possibilities, and new moments to capture. And for the first time, Lily felt truly ready to embrace them all.